Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Full Court Press MMA. I am your host, Drew Duncan. Do not forget that Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Additionally, you can find me on YouTube. Simply look for Drew Duncan. Don't forget that the Full Court Press has subsidiaries: basketball, MMA, and football. And of course, when you share our posts, use the hashtag Don't You Dare Touch That Dial. Guys, I am super excited to have our next guest on the program. He is making his UFC debut this coming April 27. He has 17 wins, 13 of them have been by submission. He is 26 years old, fighting out of Arkansas. He goes by the nickname The Young Lion. His real name is Thomas Gifford, and he's right here on the Full Court Press MMA. Thomas, thank you so much for joining the program.
How you doing, Drew?
I am spectacular, sir. And yourself?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's finally happening. It's been 10 years of ups and downs, but it's finally happening, and there's no quitting me. That's why I'm part of Team Relentless. Relentless means you never quit, no matter what it is.
It's very difficult for people to not give up. You know, I've talked to several fighters and seen several fighters post where they take a loss and they decide to quit. You have 7 to your record. What has driven you this entire time to never give up, Thomas?
The UFC has been my dream since I was 15 years old. I found out I was a boxer, and I was doing exactly what they did. I lost a couple boxing matches. I got told that going pro at the old age that I was, that it wouldn't work out very well, and I wouldn't be anything to make big money or anything. And then I found out about MMA, and I was like, you know what? I'm in love with this, and I'm going to make it happen no matter what. And ever since then, ain't nobody stopped me. Ain't nobody told me no, or I can't do nothing that I ain't said. What are you talking about? You just wait. It'll be here. I don't care if it's 5, 10, 15 years later. It's here. 10 years later, I'm here. So, in everybody's face.
Thomas, there's been a lot of controversy going on in the UFC over the last decade, probably, not just with some of this outside stuff that has happened, mostly within the octagon. There's a lot of talk about interim championships and whether or not they're good for the sport or not. Where do you see the UFC in your mind? Not just the boyhood dream aspect of it, but the down nitty gritty aspect of the UFC and what they have to offer.
They're a growing business, really. The UFC is a promotion. They're not looking at it as, hey, we're getting these fighters money, we're making these guys live their dream and stuff. They're thinking, hey, we're making money. Hey, what can make us money? What else can we do to make money? Them interim titles, they're making money off fights by putting interim titles and making everybody wait for that title shot. They're adding more shows by adding interim titles. When interim titles don't mean nothing, but you're up next for the title fight. When anybody in the top 10 can get a title fight at any second. Being in the top 10 means that you're dangerous, that you're worth that number 1 spot, that you're coming for that number 1 spot. If you're in the first top 10, I think you're pretty much a contender for the interim belt and the belt.
And you've been a champion. And so you know that what a champion is supposed to do is defend. And, you know, there's been some instances, obviously, where we've seen injuries. If you're unhealthy, you can't defend, obviously, so it becomes an issue. But if you are healthy, you should defend. So where do you think maybe the UFC could start working on finding some of that balance?
Honestly, they're not really going to be able to find it, because if I had a hernia and it really wouldn't hurt me in practice, and I think that I could have fought through it, and not that I think, I know I can fight through it, and I know I can beat this guy, I'm going to try it till the very end to make that fight. And that's what every fighter, they don't want to pull out. Hernias, broken finger, broken toe, slight split disc. I mean, stuff like that. Nobody wants to just give up a fight and give up that payday, but it takes the real champions to know if you're hurt and you're not 100%, you don't need to fight, and you need to tell somebody about it. That way that you're not going to lose because you're not 100%. Nobody wants to lose just because they're not 100%, but it's their fault. They're the ones who fought. They're like, oh, I was hurt. No, that's your fault. You're a fighter. You know your body better than anybody. You got to tell somebody. That fighter mentality that makes nobody want to tell somebody because they want to fight. No matter what, they're going to want to fight.
A fighter's health is their own responsibility is a big part of what I'm hearing from you. Would I be correct in assessing that from you, Thomas?
Yes, sir.
So what steps do you take to take better care of your body and make sure that you're prepared, that you've made weight, that you're not taking unnecessary damage during sparring sessions? What are some of the things that you do that you believe separates you from everybody else in being fully prepared for a fight?
Listening to my father. Everybody hates it. Nobody likes to listen to people when they're right, and that's the problem. You got to know when to listen to somebody. And back in the day, I used to cut 20 pounds within 2 days to make weight. Wow. That made me lose fights. Sometimes it made me win fights. But in the long run, it was hard on my body. I'm 26 years old now. I can't do that. It'd be horrible for me. And my last fight, I had a horrible weight cut, and I got dropped with the first punch. I don't want that to ever happen again. So as soon as I found out about this fight, I immediately started doing exactly what my dad told me to do years ago. And he was like, finally, you start listening to me. But that's the way it comes down to. People who don't listen to their coaches or try to slip in meals in between, they got to have that discipline, and they got to start doing it early. They can't just they have a set way they do everything in their weight cut. And they got to specifically do it a certain way every time just to make it perfect. But sometimes it's not going to work out the same way every time. You got to prepare yourself beforehand so that never happens.
You know, and you are a guy that it sounds to me like you're taking full responsibility and full ownership over your own career.
Fighting it's a one-man sport. I mean, yes, we have a team behind us. Yes, we have trainers and everything. But at the end of the day, it's my fault if I ate that extra meal. It's my fault that I drank too much water. It's my fault that I didn't show up to practice. It's my fault that I didn't tell somebody my finger was hurt. Or it's my fault that I tweaked my back and I didn't tell nobody, and now it's really hurt. It's pretty much everything's on them, no matter what. Because, I mean, your trainer, they can train you and they can be you in tip-top shape, but there's something in your body that's hurting. You can know it and you can hide it at the same time.
We're talking to Thomas Gifford right here on the Full Court Press MMA. I am your host, Drew Duncan. He's got a UFC debut coming up April the 27th on ESPN. Thomas, are you nervous at all? Is the anxiety there? I mean, day to day, has any of this set in yet? I mean, do you have a full grasp? Are you living in the moment of what's going on right now?
Yes, sir. I am. I mean, nerves and anxiety, and it's hard to sleep because I'm so excited. But yet, I know that I made that step to that next level. The UFC is the top level, and even last night in practice, I drove 3 hours to train with Memphis BJJ and judo. Jaleel Willis is a top prospect fighting in LSA. Zach Underwood was a top fighter in Memphis, and then Andy Ulrich is a Bellator vet, UFC vet, and I just went there yesterday, and I told myself, I was like, get out of your comfort zone, do what you're not usually used to, and kill yourself. And my girlfriend actually said, she goes, Thomas, what's wrong with you? You never puke in practice. I totally went 100%, and I tried to kill myself. That way, when I get in that cage, then I'll know no matter what, I took it to the end.
And, you know, it sounds to me like despite a 5-win fight streak, which is what you're on right now, and despite the fact that you've got one of the biggest opportunities in the world, I feel like it's actually enhanced your work ethic based off of the things that you're telling me.
Oh, yes, sir, it has. That's what I'm saying. And ain't nobody stopping me from this dream. I finally got to sign that contract. Stepping in the cage is the only thing I got to do now.
Thomas, I'm a little surprised that with being in Arkansas, you're not on here talking about Woo Pig Suey and that you're not playing football somewhere. I mean, was football ever something that was in mind for you? I mean, you are in the heart of SEC country.
Oh, yeah. I used to love playing football, and I was really good on in the little leagues in 9th grade, 8th and 9th grade, but I was getting picked on because I was 5'2", 100 pounds. when I was in the ninth grade, and I had this long blonde hair, and I mean, all the girls liked me, but I still was getting picked on by all the bigger kids and stuff like that. And then once I started boxing, it was like football went out the window. It was that recess. It was without pads. It was playing football. While the football games were going, I was down there running, playing with the other kids, playing tackle football myself. I wasn't really into the football games. I wanted to go to practice. I wanted to train, and I fell in love with fighting.
Quick prediction for Arkansas this year. Do you have one? Do you think they're able to turn around after they had basically the worst season that they've ever had a year ago?
There's only up from there. Once you hit rock bottom, it really digs deep in your soul. And hopefully them guys buck together and they come together and they show each other love and they actually start working. Because, I mean, it makes a team to win a football game. Not just one person, not just two people. It takes a whole team. They got to come together and join as a team. Once they start doing that, they could be unbeatable.
Thomas, as I do with all of my guests, I give them an opportunity to say whatever it is that's on their mind. There is no right or wrong answer here. The floor is 100% yours, partner.
All right, everybody, hit me up on Facebook at Thomas the Young Lion Gifford. My Instagram is Thomas_Gifford_MMA. My Twitter is the Young Lion MMA. I got sponsors: All Points Transport, Bass Planet, Factory X, Iron Jaw, not to mention my team Iridium, and Jason House, my manager. And everybody, I just want to tell you, Jesus saves. God is the only way to heaven. And God bless.
Thomas, it was a true treat to have you on the program, sir, and best of luck to you, and congratulations on fulfilling your dream and making it to fight in the UFC.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. All right, everybody. He's Thomas Gifford. I'm Drew Duncan, host of the Full Court Press MMA. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram is all at Drew Duncan 83. Don't forget to use the hashtag Don't You Dare Touch That Dial when you share our post. And as always, don't you dare touch that dial.